Hello students. So in the previous video, we had discussed what is the variable, what is the constant, and what are equations. And we also discussed what are quadratic equations. And we also started with the first exercise where we had to check whether the given equation is quadratic or not, isn't it? So let's continue. In the first exercise, actually, there are a few more statement problems, which we'll do it later. We'll do all the statement problems all together. Okay. So let's continue with quadratic equations. So the next concept that we're going to learn is roots of quadratic equation. Q dot is quadratic equation. Okay. So what is meant by roots of a quadratic equation? Roots of a quadratic equation are those real numbers when substituted in the equation will satisfy the equation, meaning the LHS and RHS will become equal. For example, let's take a simple quadratic equation, x square minus 25 equal to 0. Is this a quadratic equation? Yes, it is, because the degree is 2. Now, I have to find a real number which, when substituted in the variable's position or in place of variable, should give me the answer as 0, or it should satisfy, that is LHS should become equal to RHS. What is the RHS now? 0, right? So we have to get 0 as the answer. That is, if we put x as 5, if you observe 5 square minus 25, what is 5 square? 25 minus 25, 0. So my LHS and RHS both are same, right? It is satisfying. Similarly, if we put x as minus 5, so let's put x as minus 5 in place of x. So minus 5 the whole square minus 25. Minus 5 the whole square is 25 itself. What is minus 5 the whole square? Minus 5 into minus 5, it becomes plus 25. Okay. So 25 minus 25 equal to 0. So which implies LHS and RHS both are equal to 0. That is, the value x is equal to minus 5 is satisfying the equation, and x is equal to 5 is also satisfying. Let's take another example. X square minus 9 equal to 0. This is quadratic. If you put x as 3 and x as minus 3, it will satisfy. That is, LHS will become equal to RHS. Let's do that. X as 3, so it will become 3 square minus 9, that is 9 minus 9. So you get 0 equal to 0, isn't it? Similarly, if you put minus 3 the whole square, minus 3 the whole square is 9 itself. So 9 minus 9 is 0. So LHS, RHS both are equal to 0. So what is roots of quadratic equation? Roots of quadratic equation are those real numbers, meaning it can be decimal, it can be fraction, it can also be irrational number, it can be any type of number, but when substituted in the equation, the LHS and RHS should become equal. That is the criteria. Okay. Now let's write the definition for roots of a quadratic equation. Okay. Let me erase all this once again. Okay, let me erase it like this itself. Okay, let me write the roots definition here. A real number, let's say it as alpha. A real number alpha, okay, it's a some number. Okay, I'm denoting it as alpha, that's it. You can also take it as y, whatever, but alpha will be better. Okay, a real number alpha is said to be root of a quadratic equation if it satisfies the equation. Satisfies in the sense the LHS should become equal to RHS. Satisfies the equation, or the values which satisfy the equation The values which satisfies the quadratic equation are known as roots of that quadratic equation. Roots of that quadratic equation. Okay. So let's take example. Let me erase this also. Example, x square minus 9 is equal to 0. Let's take a quadratic equation. 3 and minus 3 are the roots. Is there any other value which satisfies roots of the quadratic equation? X square minus 9 equal to 0. Let's take the second one. X square plus 4x plus 4 equal to 0. So here minus 2 and minus 2 itself. Okay. Or let me take another example. Let me explain this later. Let me take it like this. X square plus 5x minus 6 equal to 0. So here x is equal to minus 6 and x is equal to 1. If I'm not wrong, let me check it. That is correct. X is equal to minus 6 and x is equal to 1 are the roots. And if you observe, we will get only 2 roots because the degree itself is 2, right? So same as the polynomials, whatever is the degree, you will get so many zeros. Here the degree is 2. So we get 2 zeros, that is 2 roots. Okay, x square plus 5x minus 6 equal to 0. Okay. So this is the meaning of roots of a quadratic equation. Now, the methods for finding roots of quadratic equation. Okay. So the first method is factorization method, also known as splitting the middle term. Factorization method. These are the methods that we're going to use to solve. Okay. The other one is completing the square method. Completing the square method. And the last one, formula method. You can also solve it by graphical method, but it is not in the syllabus, so let's not worry. Okay. For state board students, the formula method is a very, very important question. You can expect one question for sure in the final exam. Okay. So let's find the roots of the quadratic equation using factorization method. So we have taken a question. We are going to solve it by factorization method. Okay. So the quadratic equation is 6x square minus x minus 2 equal to 0. And remember the very first step to check whether it is in its standard form or in simple words, whether the powers are in decreasing order. That is, if you observe, the standard form is like this, right? So a x square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. If you observe, you got the highest power 2 first, then 1, then the constant number. Constant number in the sense you can also write it as x to the power 0 because x to the power 0 is 1. So c into 1 becomes c itself. So it should be in the decreasing order. Power 2, power 1 and power 0. Okay. Suppose if the question, the same question which I have taken now, if it is given like this, minus 2 minus x equal to 0, it is not in its standard form. That is, the powers are not in decreasing order. After x square, x must come, then the constant number. You have to rearrange it like this, then you have to proceed. Or sometimes you can also have questions like this, 2 minus 6x square plus x is equal to 0. What should come first? X square. That is here with the sign, it is minus x, 6x square comes first, then x, then 2, positive 2. Okay. So this is how we have to rearrange if it's not in the standard form. Okay. So once we have rearranged it, we can solve. So here it is in its standard form, so no issues. Once you get to know that it is in its standard form, the next thing that you have to do is find the value of a, b, and c. What is this a? Coefficient of x square. Coefficient of x squared is 6. What is coefficient of b? It is -1. There is no number here. It is coefficient is that number that is multiplied to x. Okay. Why are we taking minus also here? Is because the standard form is ax square plus bx plus c. If you observe, everything is in positive. So if I write this in standard form, so it becomes 6x square plus of minus x plus of minus 2. Now if you observe, the coefficient of x square is 6, the coefficient of x is -1, and the c constant term is -2. Okay, so that is, if you get it in the standard form, you will get the negative along with that, isn't it? So in simple words, whenever we are finding the coefficient, we'll take the signs along with that. Okay, so therefore here, if you compare the question, 6x square minus x minus 2, here a value is 6, b value is -1, and c value is -2. On comparing, you will get to know this. Okay, or in simple terms, x square coefficient is 6, x coefficient is -1, and the constant term is -2. So this is the first thing that we have to do, finding the value of a, b, and c. Once we find the value of a, b, c, what we have to do is we have to multiply a and c. So multiply a and c, what do we get? 6 into -2. 6 into -2 is 12. So let me multiply a into c, that is 6 into -2. We get it as -12. Okay. Now, the next step is we have to find the factors of 12. Meaning, we have to find those numbers which when we multiply, we should get 12. I repeat it. We have to find the factors of 12. Factors of 12 in the sense, we have to find two numbers. When multiplied, we should get 12. At the same time, please observe this sign here. Let me highlight it using a different color. Here you got minus, isn't it? Based on this sign, you should also select those two numbers in such a way that if you multiply, it should give you 12. Multiply, let's say the two numbers are m and n. If you multiply, it should give you 12, actually -12. And the same numbers, if you subtract it, you should get the b value, that is -1. Okay. Why subtracting it? Because here it is minus. If it was plus over here, then I would have added it. Okay. So therefore, the two numbers that we have to find is, if we multiply, we should get 12. And if we subtract it, since you have got minus here, if you subtract it, you should get -1. Okay, that is the logic. So if I take 6 2s, I'll get 12. But 6 and 2, if you subtract it, you get 4, isn't it? So these are not the correct numbers. So instead, if I take 12 ones, it is 12. But 12 and -1, if I subtract it, I will get 11, isn't it? So this is also wrong. So what about the other numbers? Okay, 4 into 3. That is correct. 4 3s is 12. See, I'm not considering the signs here. I'm just focusing on the numbers. 4 3s is 12. If I multiply, I'm getting 12. If I subtract it, will I get 1? Yes. Later, we'll worry about the signs, okay? So the numbers are 4 and 3. Remember, I have to get -1, isn't it? So it should be -4 plus 3. Now observe, -4 and plus 3 are the correct numbers. If you multiply, you will get -12. -4 plus 3, you will get -1, isn't it? So this is how we'll find the factors. So I repeat it. If you multiply, you should get 12. And if you subtract it, how do I get to know that is subtraction? Using this sign. minus sign. Here you got minus, therefore it is subtraction. If it was plus, then I would have added it. Okay. Now, what we have to do is retain the first term and the last term as it is, 6x square and minus 2 as it is. Instead of this middle term, we have to write these two numbers, that is minus 4 with an x plus 3 with an x. The last number minus 2 stays as it is. I hope it is clear. Okay. Instead of this middle number minus 1x, we have to introduce these two things along with x. Okay, because it was minus 1x, right? Here it was minus 1x. So you have to write minus 4x plus 3x. Okay. Now, among these two numbers, the first two numbers, here we have to take common, and here between these two we have to take common. Okay. So, how to take common? Very, very important thing. Now, what are the numbers that you have got in the first two terms, 6 and 4, right? Which is the highest number that divides both 6 and 4? Think about it. Which is the number that divides both 6 and 4? Good, very good. It is 2. Let's write it. Now, between the variables, we have got x square and x. We should always take the least power as the common. So least power is x power 1, right? So that will be the common. Suppose you have got m cube and m square. What will be the common thing? M square. The least power should be taken as common among the variables. Okay. Among the constants, you have to take the highest number which divides both. Okay. So between x square and x is common. Okay. Now, what will we write inside this bracket? We have taken 2 as x as common, the remaining things. So 2 into what gives you 6, 2, 3. So we have to write 3 here. Okay. And earlier it was x square. So we have taken x as common. So x into x gives you x square, right? So we'll write x over here minus 2 into what gives me 4, 2 into 2. Okay. This x is already taken as common. So no problem. Okay. Once you finish taking common, just observe if you multiply, you should get back the same thing. So 2 3s are 6. X into x, x square. 2x into 2 is 4x. So we are getting the same thing. So no problem. Similarly, whatever sign is there, retain it. Now between 3 and 2, which is the highest number that divides both? Which is the number that divides both 3 and 2? It is 1 actually, isn't it? Now you have taken 1 as common. So whenever you take 1 as common, the terms retain as it is. Okay. So you get 3x minus 2 as. If you have done the procedure correctly, inside the both brackets, you will get the same things. 3x minus 2, 3x minus 2. Now again, we are going to take common. Actually, there are two terms. If you observe, this entire thing is one term and this entire thing is one term because they are in multiplication, right? If we are in multiplication, we call it as one term. So this is one term and this is one term. In both these terms, what is common? 3x minus 2 is common. So let's take that out. So I'll take 3x minus 2 as common. If I take 3x minus 2 as common, what is left out? In the first place, it is 2x. In the second, it is 1 plus 1 equal to 0. So this is the procedure. Now after this, you have to know this. That is, if you're multiplying two numbers and you're getting the answer as 0, okay, I'm talking about real numbers. You're taking any two real numbers and you're multiplying and you're finding that answer is 0, then definitely either A should be 0 or B should be 0. Okay. You might think, sir, this is obvious, isn't it? If you multiply two numbers, you're getting the answer as 0. This is very obvious, right? Any one of them should be 0 or both can also be 0. But when you go to higher classes or if you are dealing in higher mathematics, there is a possibility where you multiply two numbers and you're getting 0. But these two numbers need not be 0. A need not be 0. B need not be 0. Okay, that is why we give this logic. But don't worry, this is not required for us right now. Let's not worry about it. So it's very obvious, right? If you multiply two numbers and you're getting the answer as 0, then either A should be 0 or B should be 0. Can I say 2 into 3 as 0? No, that is not possible because 2 is not equal to 0, 3 is not equal to 0. Okay. So let's take it like this. 3 into something is equal to 0. So that something should be what? 0, right? It is like that. So if you observe here, This 3x minus 2 is like our A, and this 2x plus 1 is like our B. So A into B is equal to 0. That is what we are getting it. So which means either A, which implies either A, that is 3x minus 2 should be equal to 0, or 2x plus 1 should be equal to 0. So which implies 3x should be equal to 0. Minus 2 to the other side will become plus 2, or 2x is equal to 0 minus 1. I'm just transposing 1 to the other side. So you get 3x is equal to 0 plus 2 is 2. Therefore, x is 2 by 3, or 2x is equal to 1 minus 1, or x is equal to minus 1 by 2. Remember, for every quadratic equation, we get two roots. So we have got two roots here. One is 2 by 3, another one is minus 1 by 2. Similarly, let's take another problem and let's understand much more. So we have taken the second question, 4x square minus 12x plus 9 is equal to 0. Okay. Is it in the standard form? What is the standard form? It should be in the decreasing orders of the powers. So it is in the decreasing order of the power. That is, we have got x square, then x, then the constant number. So no problem. Now, after this, let's find the value of A, B, C. What is A? Coefficient of x square, which is 4. What is B? Coefficient of x? That is minus 12. We have to take with the sign. Remember that. And what is C? Coefficient? That is the constant term. I'm sorry. The constant term, that is the number without any variable. That is 9. Okay. So once you find A, B, C, we have to multiply A and C. That is 4 into 9, which gives us 36. That is positive 36. So we have to find two numbers, that is the factors of 36. That is, if you multiply, we should get 36. And since it is positive now, here it is positive, I have to add those numbers to get the B value. Okay. I have to multiply to get 36, and I have to add, previous time it was minus. Now it is plus. So I have to add it in order to get 12. So let's take 4 9s is 36. But if I add 4 and 9, I get 13. So this is a wrong number. Or 36, right? 18 2s is 36. But if I add 18 and 2, I get 20. So these are also wrong. So what about the other one? 6 into 6 is 36. If I add 6 and 6, I'll get 12. So these are the correct numbers. Now let's worry about the sign. Now, if you add it, you should get minus 12, which means both should be minus, isn't it? Because you are adding it. Remember, when you are adding it, both should have same sign. So it should be minus 6 and minus 6. So observe, minus into minus plus, 6 6 are 36. Minus 6 plus minus 6, minus 6 plus minus 6 will give you minus 12. So minus 6 into minus 6 is plus 36. The condition is satisfied. Okay. So the numbers are minus 6 and minus 6. What will be the next step? The next step is the first term as it is. Instead of the middle term, we have to introduce these two numbers. That is minus 6 with an x. Again, minus 6 with an x. The last term, plus 9 as it is. Now you have to take common between the first two and the next two. What is common? You have got 4 and 6. Which is the number that divides 4 and 6? It is 2. So if you take 2 as common, and between x square and x, it is x common. So you have taken 2x as common. What remains? 2 into 2 gives you 4. X into x gives you x squared. So you get 2x here minus 2x into what gives you 6x? 2x into 3, isn't it? So that is the thing. And you got minus over here. So we'll retain the sign as it is, minus. Okay. Whatever sign is there, as it is. Now, between 6 and 9, which is the number that divides? It is 3, isn't it? Okay. 3 will be common. Here you got x, but the last term doesn't have x. So there is nothing in variable that is common. So between 6x and 9, 3 is common. Now what is left out? 3 into what gives you 6x? 3 into 2x, isn't it? And remember one important thing here, since the minus is outside the bracket, this sign plus will change. Okay, it will become minus. If it is plus, it becomes minus. If it is minus, it will become plus. Okay, because the minus is outside the bracket. Actually, we have taken minus 3 as common. It's like that. Okay. Now, 2x minus 3. equal to 0. So as I told you, if you have done correctly, you will get the same binomial in both the brackets. 2x minus 3, 2x minus 3. Take that common. What is left out? The left out is 2x minus 3 again. Okay. So this and this we have written it once, and the remaining thing 2x and minus 3. That's what we have written. Okay. Let me erase this. So again, a into b is equal to 0 implies the first one 2x minus 3 is equal to 0, or the next one that is also same thing 2x minus 3 is equal to 0, which implies 2x is 0 plus 3, or 2x is 3, or x is 3 by 2, or the same thing 2x is 0 plus 3, 2x is 3, or x is 3 by 2. Here we have got two roots, both the roots are same. Okay, here we have got two roots, both the roots are same. Okay, we'll do one more problem and let's understand much more better. Okay, students, we have taken one more problem. Again, the first step is what? We have to check whether it is in standard form. Yes, it is. Once it is in standard form, find the value of a. Here a is 6 and b is 1, c is minus 12. A is the coefficient of x square, b is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant term. Okay. The next step is multiply a and c. So a is 6, c is minus 12. So 6 into minus 12 gives you minus 72. 12 6 are 72. Okay. So you've got minus 72. So if you multiply, you should get 72. And here we have got minus, right? It is minus 72. Therefore, if you subtract it, since you got minus, we have to subtract it in order to get the value of b, that is 1. So that is, if you multiply, you should get 72. If you subtract it, you should get 1. So as you know that the correct numbers are 9 and 8, because 9 8s are 72. If you subtract it, you will get 1. Since b is positive 1, then it should be plus 9 minus 8. If you reverse the sign, that is, if you take minus 9 plus 8, it becomes minus 1, right? But the thing is, b should be positive 1. Therefore, the correct thing is plus 9 minus 8. And remember, you're subtracting it. That is why both will have different sign. And in the previous question, if you observe, let me show that also. In the previous question, here we had plus 36. And we have to add it to get 12. When you are adding, you will have same sign. That is why we took minus and minus, because we are adding it. But in this question, we are subtracting it. That is why both numbers will have different sign, plus and minus. Okay. Depending on the b value, we'll give the plus and minus. We want positive one, so we have given plus 9 and minus 8. Okay. Therefore, 6x square. So instead of plus, we can plus x, we have to take it the two numbers, that is 9x and minus 8x minus 12 equal to 0. Take common between the first two and the next two. What is common? Which is the number that divides both 6 and 9? It is 3. Between x square and x is common. Okay. Now, 3 into what gives you 6? 2. X into what gives you x square? X. Plus 3 into what gives you 9? 3 itself. Already x is written outside, so you need not write x again. Because if you write x again here, then while multiplying, you get x into x square. Okay. Or you can think like this. 3 into what gives you 9x? 3 into 3x into what gives you 9x? 3x into 3. Okay. Now, whatever sign is there, retain it as it is. Between 8 and 12, which is the number that divides both? It is 4, isn't it? 4 is the highest number that divides both. So 4 into what gives you 8x? 4 into 2x, isn't it? Now, since you have taken minus outside, since minus is outside the bracket, this minus, okay, here, this minus will become plus. Okay, as I told you, whenever minus is outside the bracket, the sign changes. Okay, it is like we are taking minus 4 as common. That is the thing. Okay, you cannot write minus 12 here or minus 3 over here, because if you multiply again, you will get positive 12. That is wrong. Okay, So you have got both the binomial same, 2x plus 3, 2x plus 3. Write that once, 2x plus 3 into the remaining thing, that is 3x minus 4 equal to 0. So if a into b is equal to 0, either a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0. So which implies 2x plus 3 is equal to 0 or 3x minus 4 equal to 0. So which become 2x is equal to, if you transpose 3 to the other side, it will become minus 3. X will become minus 3 by 2. Okay. Same thing here. If you transpose minus 4 to the other side, it will become plus 4. Therefore, x will become 4 divided by 3. So these are the two roots. Okay. So I hope you have understood, students. In the next video, we'll do the factorization method itself. But what if instead of this 72, what if you've got a number like this, 368, a bigger number? See, all these problems, what we have done, we have got very small numbers so that we can easily find the factors. That is the two numbers. But if you've got something like this, 1225, two numbers that you multiply should give you 1225. It's not so easy, right? So we'll try to find the factors when we have got bigger numbers in the next video. Thank you, students.